Good morning, it's Greg from Edge Nexus, walking to work. Beautiful morning, not many people around. Might have something to do with the conditions, so I'm sort of slipping and sliding around, but quite amusing. Anyway, today's little chat's going to be about the difference between an ADC and a load balancer. So very often we hear the industry swap backwards and forwards. Sometimes they're selling a load balancer, sometimes they're selling an ADC. What is the actual difference? Is there any difference? Well, the very short answer is that load balancing is a feature of an application delivery controller, an ADC. So an ADC can do a lot more than just load balancing. And this term was coined quite a few years ago by a couple of the Gartner analysts, Joe Scruper and Mark Fabi, when they were looking at how these load balancers were evolving all the time and adding lots and lots of additional functionality that we'll talk about in a minute. And they thought, well, they're not really load balancers anymore. Load balancers is just one of these things that they actually do. Or we've got a ravine to cross here, hang on. Stand by. Oh, so what are some of these features? Well, the first one, it's been around for a long time, is Ssl Flow. So we tend to put the Ssl certificates on the load balancer, and the reason why we do that is threefold really. One, load balancers are really good at SSL. We can do it nice and quick. We help to reduce the load on the application servers. Therefore, the application servers have got plenty of CPU to do what they need to do, like produce the application. The load balancer sitting there churning away doing the encryption. So that's one. Two, if you've got a whole load of application servers, you would traditionally need a certificate on every one of them. So, but if you have a load balancer in front of it, you can just have one SSL certificate on the load balancer. It's easier to manage, and it's obviously a bit cheaper. And the last one is that if you want the load balancer or ADC to do any of the clever stuff, it needs to have the text, it needs to have the content in the clear, basically. So it can't fiddle around or analyse or manipulate encrypted traffic, and therefore if you want to do any of these high level features, you need to use SSL offloads, so the load balancer can actually see the content in the clear. So those are kind of the key reasons why you want to use SSL offload on a load balancer, and that's probably the most sort of basic of enhanced features that these devices use. And then we go on to performance. So people say, well, look, you've got this device, can it help to make my application get to my end users faster? You know, I've got some users in Asia, and we've got 200 to 300 milliseconds latency on the network. How can we do something to make it make them have a better end user experience? So we looked at adding features as an industry. What can we do? So we added things like HTTP compression. We added content caching. So we try and more efficiently cache the images to further on the outside of networks. We do things like TCP manipulation, fast TCP to try and improve the low-level TCP performance. So we added all this performance functionality, and that helps to get performance gain for the application. And then more recently is the whole issue of web application security came along, whereby people need to secure these applications. I've done a little video on that previously, so please have a look at that if you're interested. And it really transpires that a good place for these type of programs to sit is actually on the load balancer, so they can now do WAF, etc. I guess if I could really pick just one feature that separated the load balancers from the ADCs, the LBs from the ADCs, that would be traffic management. So this is the ability to inspect and make decisions on incoming requests and outgoing responses, and it's an amazingly powerful toolkit. So what can you do? Why is it interesting? So if you imagine, you can look at an incoming request from a user. So that could be looking at where they're from, their geolocation. We're looking at their source IP address. Okay, we've got the challenge here. We could be looking at HTTP headers. We can looking at all sorts of factors, and based on that information, we can do something different. We can say, right, okay, they're coming from Germany. They're going to this URL. Let's flip over to some German content and maybe use a different, specifically reserved VIP server for German users, for example. So it's a massively powerful language. What some of the top-end devices can do is also rewrite the response. So what you can do is you can get the page from the application server. Typically, this is all at web HTTP or HTTPS. We get the page from the application server. We can look at the body, and we can actually rewrite the URLs. We can rewrite the content. So where this is really cool is things like cloud migration, where you've got legacy application, perhaps it's hard coded. You don't have access to the source code of the application anymore, but you want to move it. So we can do things like rewrite the IP addresses, rewrite the URLs. We can change the content, the header. It's a really, really powerful language and a really powerful tool for to have in your toolkit. So it's a difficult one because once you have it and you start using it, it becomes addictive. You know, you do so many different things with it, but it's just people don't really expect to find this type of capability on the load balancer. So, you know, if you ever have a chance to have a look at some traffic management capability of these type of devices, have a look because it's really cool stuff. So, yeah, and you know, feel free to ping me if you want to have a look at some of our stuff. Cool, cheers. So GSLB is another enhanced feature that you might find on an ADC. GSLB is global server load balancing. So we normally talk about load balancing within a data center, you know, load balancing to application servers within that network. GSLB is used for when you want to fail over between data centers. So if you lose a whole data center, you want to be able to seamlessly fail over. You may just want to run 2 data centers active. That's also cool. Or if you're running you know, global operation, you may want to ensure that the users are automatically directed to the closest data center in order to reduce latency and give them the best kind of end user performance. So GSLB is a pretty cool feature. You'd expect to find that on most ADCs. You know, and lastly, one of the you know, big upcoming features is the ADP feature, so Application Delivery Platform. This is where you can actually run third-party software on the load balancer. So some devices support things like microservices, where you can actually run your own software embedded in the load balancer, and that software can communicate to the load balancer's API. You can see the network traffic bi-directionally. It can do some pretty cool stuff. So that's a really cool feature that we're starting to see. People starting to use that for like edge computing, rolling out new security tools in a really agile way. Yeah, so ADP, that's probably the last of the real next gen features with ADCs. Thanks very much.